Hi, my name is Turi Mullins, and I apologize if I'm coughing throughout this. I'm sick. This is for Child Growth Online. This is the research articles notebook, and I'm going to be talking about five of the articles that I liked. The first one is Adopting a Growth Mindset by Amelia Dress. The second one is Association Between Intimate Partner Violence and Poor Child Growth, Results from 42 Demographic and Health Surveys by Jeannie Chai and Gunther Fink, ETA all. The third one is Animal Therapy for Children with Autism Spectrum Disorder by Kate R. Gabriel. The fourth one is Importance of Play and So Much More by Jennifer Burke. And the last one is Children Draw the World to Know the World by Gian K.B. The first article is the importance of growth mindset. I apologize. The first one is Adopting a Growth Mindset by Amelia Dress. In this article, it talks about the teachers are the driving force behind a growth mindset, and that these teachers need to be persistent when helping their students that are struggling with what the teacher is teaching. And it talks about two different types of growth mindset. It's a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. The growth mindset encompasses the people that are passionate about teaching and wanting to help their students, and the other one is a fixed, who often don't really love their job. They just are there to get a paycheck. One of the things I did like about this article was that it did talk about how teachers are the growth mindset. They said it for the students. And even though they may not understand, we are the ones that have to fix the problem to make them understand. Another thing that I liked is that when you read this article, it makes you think if you have growth mindset or if you have a fixed mindset. If you have fixed mindset, you probably need to be looking for a different job, because being a teacher, you need to have the growth mindset to go far and help your students. The second article I'm going to talk about is Association Between Intimate Partner Violence and Poor Child Growth, Results from 42 Demographic and Health Surveys by Jeannie Chai and Gunther Fink and ETA all. In this article, it talks about the how intimate partner violence can affect how children grow, and it may not only just affect how they grow, but it may affect their nutritional status and other things along with that. They also state that the authors in this article state that children witness such violence can suffer from childhood stress, in which that affects their metabolism, which affects their growth and cognitive functioning. And it kind of focuses on the lower to middle SES families in 42 other countries. This article was good. It was a good read. It was difficult though, because there was so much information, so much statistics, and sometimes they used words that were just hard to comprehend and understand. Though this article is a very good read, it's just extremely difficult to make it all the way through. And if you're not somebody that knows about the nutritional status and cognitive functioning and how it affects children, then you're not going to understand this article very well at all. So this is one of the articles that I wouldn't recommend for teachers to keep in their portfolio, but I would definitely have them read so they can understand why some of the middle and lower SES families do struggle with why the children may be struggling. Is it maybe due to intimate partner violence at home? The third article I'm going to talk about is Animal Therapy for Children with Autism Spectrum Disorder. This article by far is my favorite, only because I just have an extreme passion for autism spectrum disorder, and animal therapy is a huge help to those students. But this article does talk about how animal therapy is a big part of helping autism spectrum disorder students, and how it helps them with just the simple tasks such as social interactions without being extremely freaked out about being around people and get extremely stressed, which causes them to kind of have a meltdown out in public. And it talks about there's different types of therapy animals. So there's dogs, there's horses, there's multiple other ones like animals, just cats. Any kind of animal can become a therapy animal. And it also talks about that most families that do try animal therapy often have extremely good results from it, which is incredible. This part of the reason why I like this article, not only being a special ed major, is that it was a very informational read. If you're going to become a special ed major and you're wondering if having an animal in your classroom would be a good idea, then you need to read this article, because it talks about how animals can help these students, which is the simplest of things. It doesn't have to be something really difficult that they're having problems with. It can be something as simple as just talking to somebody or expressing how they feel, and they can do that through these animals, which is an incredible thing to see. The fourth article I'm going to talk about is The Importance of Play and So Much More by Jennifer Burke. This article is full of information on how children are setting their own goals, how they make their own choices on things, and that's how they learn, through the decisions they make and the choices that they make. And the author talks about how it's hard for some students to sit still and learn, even for long periods of time. It makes it extremely difficult because they're wanting to move around, and everybody's getting onto them for moving around all the time, which is, they think it's distracting them, which it's not. And then, so one thing I did like about this article is it is a good read for teachers to read, because it does talk about children setting their own goals and how it's important for them, because they can set their own pace. But a couple things that I did not like is that the author kind of seemed like she was putting her own opinion out there rather than just stating that this is how she needs, that you need to run a classroom, and it should really be left up to the teacher that's in charge of the class at the time. So and that it just doesn't, she just puts her own opinion. This article kind of also jumps around, which gets kind of confusing, because she talks about one thing and then goes to something else and then comes back at times, is what it seems like whenever you're reading. The last article is Children Draw the World to Know the World by Gian K.B. In this article, it talks about how children draw to understand the world. They are drawing things from their perspective, so to understand how something is working out, they kind of draw it out. And it talks about how writing and drawing are good for cognition. The author talks about that children often draw the world how they see it, which means they also draw just like how they speak. They often start out drawing just human beings, which gradually get more complex as they get older. This article was a good read. It was an easy read to go through, so I would recommend it for any kind of teacher that is going to be teaching in the younger grades, an art teacher, even just a normal classroom teacher, because you can do just the drawing inside your classroom, which helps them kind of build up their cognition and help them grow every day. A teacher could even make this drawing into a lesson. They can draw how they see parts of the world. If you're going to do a lesson on parts of the world and you're a little bit older for your grades, you could do a lesson and have them draw that part of the world from their point of view, like the people, some of the surroundings, and things like that. The author also seemed to make some points that as a teacher I would have never even thought of, which was really great because it made me think and actually process some of this stuff. And that's the end of all the 5 articles. Like I said, out of all of them that I did, out of all 10, by far the best one that I read was the Animal Therapy for Autism Spectrum Disorder, and that's just a great read for somebody that's going to teach special ed to go through and read. And even for parents that have autism spectrum disorder that are kind of iffy on whether or not they need to do therapeutic writing or just getting a therapeutic animal, it's a great informational read that you should go through, and that would hopefully help you kind of guide toward your direction that you wanted to go.